Hello and welcome back with Devlog here at Fortress Festival for Devolution magazine, and here I am with one of the most talked about bands on this bill. The line for your merch was going out the door. Blackbraid is in the house. Hello there, Jon.
Hey,
pleased to meet you.
Thank you.
So how's it feel being over here with this buzz at the moment surrounding your band?
Right now it feels amazing. I mean, this festival I don't think could have been curated any better. There's not one mediocre band on the lineup. Everyone is
so strong, isn't it?
And there's just good music going 24/7. So it's been great, honestly. It's an honor to be a part of something like this, especially for our first time in the UK. So
absolutely, and for yourself, 2 albums almost on the bounce. The first one, everyone went, "What's that? That's new. We haven't heard that before." And then you follow it up with something that expanded even further. It really made an imprint on the scene. That must feel really quite satisfying for you.
Yeah, it's definitely been satisfying. It's been pretty unexpected, I definitely, when I was making those albums, I didn't foresee that happening.
No.
But I've just been rolling with it. But yeah, it's been very surreal.
Yeah, I think one of the things that captured maybe the public imagination was the fact that you're giving a voice to the voiceless in the themes that you're covering, with the native indigenous people of America, and black metal being the perfect vehicle for that kind of storytelling. And I've touched on this with some other artists this weekend. What do you think it is about black metal that makes it so good for storytelling like that?
I think when it comes to metal, black metal is probably the most serious genre where everyone is, it's a lot of really heavy themes, death and deep depression and violence and all these other things. Unfortunately, trauma, things like that kind of go hand in hand with black metal. So
yeah,
it really kind of translates into any type of suffering or
yes,
spiritual power. All of it is really at the essence of black metal. So
yeah,
I think Blackbraid kind of just fits in a little seamlessly. We don't really have to try too much to to get it out there.
And there seems to be an overarching theme that seemed to be so fitting in that taking it back to the indigenous people. This has been touched on in other people's cultures, never before with so effectively as with the Native American culture and the injustices that went along with it. I was talking to Infernal Sea yesterday about their albums all about the Witchfinder General and the persecution of pagans back in early English times, and then we're talking about taking it back to the indigenous people of America and the injustices happening there, which you've documented brilliant on your record. So do you think it's the nature of the theatre of the music? Because it's very dramatic music, so it goes with these very dramatic stories, doesn't it? And these aren't stories, these are true stories. These happened, man.
It is, yeah. It's almost I don't think it could be anything other than black metal,
Absolutely.
When I was writing them, I wasn't really trying to write a certain type of black metal, but I guess it just comes out like that. That's how it's kind of meant to be, I guess.
It feels very natural, very organic. It doesn't feel it doesn't feel forced. It doesn't feel like, I'm going to make a black metal record. As you say, it was just the natural way of things. It just came out that way.
Yeah, that's really always what I try to do with Blackbraid is, I never wanted, part of refusing to sign and, staying independent and stuff has been not ever doing anything I don't want to, and, having the ability to be I don't want to write a record this year, or, and only really writing when I feel like I have to write.
So it's not forced.
Instead of just writing for the sake of it, another album,
Yeah, well, that's great. I think for any artist, I think it's the opposite of being an artist, is being forced to make something. You can't be forced to make something.
Yeah.
It happens when the time's right, when the stars align.
Exactly, yeah. And then there's bands, their labels force them all the time, we need another album in the next 2 years. And you can tell when they wanted to do it and when they didn't, it's...
Yeah, you could tell. That's usually when a bad album happens. It's just come on, time.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Art doesn't work like that. Wonderful. So You've been out on the road. You've taken this your message, your band's very powerful message, all over the world. Have you seen that it's been this well received in other countries? Like I know in England we've really responded to it. Is this a universal thing? Is this happening across the board, especially people in the world who maybe are having injustices of their own right now?
Yeah, no, it's been really surreal. Like anytime we leave the US, it's just been phenomenal. Like every Eurofest we've done a few Eurofests, and we also did Mexico, and we've done Canada, but that's pretty much still the US. But yeah, anytime we leave America, it's just insane how the love that people show us, and we've never played a bad show overseas. No. Like everyone just makes us feel so welcomed, and it's surreal. It's really a lot of it is the crowd, because anytime we come over to Europe, like the crowd brings it 100%.
Absolutely.
That's all that when the crowd is into it, like it doesn't really take much to play good. Like you can kind of just feed off of them. So.
Absolutely, that energy is an all-timer. Well, I think you're gonna have an amazing show later on, judging by the crowd, because they are like queuing out the door. And this is quite highly anticipated today, so no pressure. Okay, well, thank you so much for joining me today, and thank you very much for being on Devlog, and have a wonderful show.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
We'll see you soon.